All right, so it is the kind of the 4th of July style, I guess, themed Snapchat. So for this trivia, the answer, how have I done with my win-loss record on the 4th of July? It's actually B. I've only wrestled 2 shows on the 4th of July, but I have had 3 matches. So I guess I consider the matches that I wrestled, even though 2 were just done as me. Now, the first time I ever wrestled on the 4th of July was in North Dakota. I believe it was at one of those, like, racetrack areas where we just put the ring in the dirt. And if I remember right, I think we drove the wrong way out of Minot, getting to Rugby, North Dakota, if I remember. But it was the North Star Express going against Udo and Flying Ryan. A very makeshift tag team that I think actually may be the Odd Couple captured gold after we had. I don't remember. It's really hard for me to keep track of lineages of all the championships. All I know is that we were the champions going into it, and we won that one. And then it wasn't until I moved actually to the Twin Cities area. It was actually that same year. I had we did an overlap in June. I moved to the cities, and I wrestled for Primetime. My first match of that, I remember it being very hot. We would change in a hockey, like the actual facility where the hockey rink was. So it was nice in there, and then you'd have to go out where the parking lot was, and the ring was just in the middle of this pavement. So it was, so that was lovely. But it was hot, and I remember. So the first part was wrestling Scott Story. I picked up the victory there. But second was every now and then at Primetime I would wrestle as Doug. I wish I had the mask handy here so I could put it on. But I wrestled as Doug, and then for a brief moment there was Double Doug, and that's ended up what we did was the Minnesota Home Wrecking Zoo, which was the Wildcat and Thunderfrog wrestled the Double Dougs. And on this one it was really funny because actually the other Doug on this one was Darius Martin of Top Flight. And the thing was like the Doug character is interesting. You've probably heard me talk about it a few times where Doug would do like all these things where he would like roll around the ring and tickle everybody, and then like teach me how to Dougie would play, and you would do the Dougie dance, and it was whatever. It was but the character generally was. It was a character. It looked like an alien, I think, kind of. But the funny thing about that was whenever I did it, or whenever we did it, it came across as creepy. And there was actually this one kid, we kept doing this like to him, to like go to tickle him, and this kid did not want to be touched. So what we did is I came from one side, and then Darius came from the other, and he like tickled him from behind, and the kid turned and bum rushed him and like knocked him over because he wasn't expecting it, and he like kind of like plowed through him. This is a big kid. And so then I came from behind, then I tickled him, and then so it was like the crowd was definitely not as into it. And I just always will remember this line where the guy who normally played Doug always said, when I do it, it seems like it's really over. The people love it, but when you guys do it, it's creepy and weird. Which is probably the best compliment I've ever got. Maybe there'll be some more Doug stories. I don't know. There's some really good ones. But that was the one. So that we lost that match. So we ended up being 2-1 and made a kid very, very mad.